The following video is brought to you by Anker.
This looks pretty good, doesn't it? I'm outside, and this is a nice looking shot. Nice and soft. Well, what if it didn't look like this? What if it looked like this? Now the shot looks like crap. This is what the shot would look like if you didn't put up all this stuff. And I keep telling you guys this and no one believes me. Lighting is the most important thing in our lives. It's more important than our family and our friends. Everything we love. In this video today, I want to accomplish two things. Number one, I want to teach you how I film outdoors. Number two, I want to teach you how I film outdoors in a crappy location that doesn't really have very many options. Recently, we had a client that had to shoot like 15 videos where people were talking to camera. They wanted the shots to look really nice, and one of the locations fell through, and we actually ended up filming quite a few of the interviews in this backyard. And I promise you that they actually looked really good, even though this backyard doesn't look very impressive. So this is the worst kind of situation you're gonna be running into. The sun is high up in the sky. There's no cloud coverage. Everything looks hot and just bleh. Cameras don't look good in these scenarios, but there's some times when you have to film in the middle of the day. You have to make the shot work. I'm going to show you the tricks that I use in order to make somebody look like $1 million outside in the middle of the day with crappy lighting. On top of all this, I have a 10-minute window to make this happen. I'm going to be running as fast as I can, and you're gonna be following me as I put together this shot with all the knowledge that I have, and I'm gonna try to talk through what I'm doing here as I'm doing it. Okay, here's what's going on in my brain right now. I have to find an angle, and there's two main things on my mind. First, I find the sun. Okay, next I put my hand out, and I turn around. This right here is what you don't want to see on someone's face. Harsh sun. If you put your hand in front of it and there's a shadow, you don't want to be filming in that direction. I'm going to turn around with my hand like this until the sun is behind my hand. Aha, I have found the angle that I want. I know I'm going to need to film in that direction because the sun is behind my hand. Another thing to do is you can look down at the ground and you find your shadow. When you found your shadow, you know that your subject wants to be standing like that, and so that means the camera needs to be pointing in the opposite direction. So although there's a lot of angles to choose from in this backyard, for where the sun is right now, I have to be filming in this general direction. Now that I know that I need to be filming in this general direction, now I'm gonna look around and find the best angle from there. Now, what I do here is I actually take off my glasses and I close one eye, and you can actually blur one eye if you figure out how to do it. You've probably done it before. You go a little bit cross-eyed and everything gets blurry. And I look around and I find the best looking blurry background I can. And I really like what I'm seeing right over here. We've got a bush, we've got some of a wall, and to my eye, blurry, it looks good. Now, when it's all sharp, it kind of looks like crap, but the blur test has passed. So now I know my general area. Next thing is I'm going to set up my camera and I'm going to get my subject where I want them to be, and I'm going to find my angle. I'm gonna do this before I set up any lights. Camera and tripod first. Okay. Right now I'm leveling off my tripod. It's very important to make sure your camera is level at all times. Alex, stand that way about 4 feet. Great. So I want you to check this out. Right now, I'm at 50 millimeters. What I've learned over the years is when I have a crappy location, I like to shoot at around 100 millimeters. I'm getting my camera angle just the way I want it. I'm gonna double check everything right now to make sure I'm happy with what I'm seeing. Alex, step to your right. Perfect, okay. That's what I'm liking. It's already looking pretty good, but what we're gonna do next is gonna make this look a lot better. Now, if there's one thing you can always expect from a producer on set, the first question they're gonna ask you is, where can I plug in my laptop? Or, I need to charge my iPhone, where can I plug it in? Well, if you're in some kind of remote location, you've got this. And now, you're best friends with the producer.
This is the Anker 521 power station. There are so many different power options with this thing. It's extremely versatile. When I'm on set, power is essential. If I'm not handheld, my camera is always plugged in because it's one less thing to worry about. Lately, we've been using this on our commercial projects, and I've loved it. It definitely has enough juice to power our camera. But that's not all this incredible little thing can do.
There's this nice light, and I actually like this because when you're in a dark situation where you need power, all you have to do is do that and you have a little bit of power so you can actually see what you're doing. I love how mobile this is. I can move this light around now. Even if I'm shooting indoors and I have power, that doesn't matter. What this is giving me is mobility, versatility, and this light is bright. The AC power here can handle about 200 watts. And this light is less than 200 watts, so it's handling it no problem. Very impressive.
I love this thing, and I take it on family trips and use it on video jobs. It's just incredibly useful to have. Click on the link in the description to buy your Anker 521 power station today.
So, like I said, we have a 100mm lens filming Alex, and you can see how far away the camera is from him. Now, if I was to come over here and film on a wide-angle lens, see how crappy that looks? You see the house, you see all this crap. On a longer lens though, I'm hiding all of that. And that's one of the first things to do when you have a crappy location. Blur it out and take advantage of that narrower depth of field. Now that I have the shot laid out, my next priority is making Alex look nice. Now here's my goal. I'm going to make the sun a little bit less harsh on the back of his head, and then I want one side of his face to be brighter than the other side of his face. I'm going to grab a C-stand, a sandbag, and a 4x diffusion. Here we go. I, of course, put the side of the C-stand where the weight's gonna go. You have to do this correctly or the whole thing will come tumbling down. I attach the 4x. I'm looking at the shadow now. I don't want to see the top of Alex's head like that. See that? I don't want that. I want him to be shaded. And that's looking great. The problem is you don't want it in the shot either. So this actually has to be kind of high to not be in the camera angle. Okay, I'm gonna double check my camera to see if that's in the shot. The sun's less harsh, it's looking nice. Now I need to choose which side of his face I want the brighter light to come from. So on this side of his face, I'm gonna set up a light right now. You may ask, Thomas, this isn't a light. Well, this is what's gonna be diffusing the light so it looks all soft. I'm gonna grab the light in a minute. I'm sweating. You guys noticing that? Whenever I film, I am the sweatiest person on set. I don't know why, but when I'm filming, I'm always so sweaty. Okay, right there. Okay, light is on at 100%. Hey, that's looking great. Now, he's brighter. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually lower my exposure just a little bit. He doesn't have to be as bright. There we go. What I'm noticing right now is this side of Alex's face, I want it to be a little bit darker. So I'm gonna go get some negative fill and bring it on this side. Okay. Uh-oh, this needs a sandbag. Hey, we've got some shape here. This is looking pretty good. I'm really liking this. I think we might be done. This is it. So let's recap what we did. First, I set up the shot. I made sure that the background looked good and the distance from Alex to the camera was just perfect. Next, I set up this 4x diffusion to block the sun. Next, I placed our key light, making this side of Alex's face brighter. And then to create a more dynamic image, I placed this negative fill on this side. Now, sometimes on a shoot, the subject is going to be looking camera left or camera right because the interviewer is going to be standing on one side of the camera. Just be aware that it would be a mistake for the interviewer to stand on this side of the camera. The reason being that now Alex is looking this way and the brighter side of his face is closer to the camera than the darker side of his face. Technically, what you want to be doing is to have the interviewer and thus the eye line of the subject be towards wherever the key light is. So the key light here is on camera left, and so Alex should be looking camera left. If the interviewer is standing here, this is what's going to look good. If the subject is looking to the lens and reading off a teleprompter or addressing the camera directly, it doesn't matter what side the key light is on. Also, if you're shooting multiple interviews, and normally for a project you are, keep in mind you don't want everyone facing the same way. You should split it up like 50-50, so that way not everyone's looking on the same side of the camera. So if you've just filmed an interview and the interviewee is standing on this side of the camera, next one, do it from this side, and we call it flipping the key. You put the key on the opposite side, and now the shot looks different. I want to hear what you guys do. How do you handle these bright outdoor situations? Do you think this setup was adequate? Would you do something different? I need to hear. I want to improve. I want to learn. And I need to hear from you in order to do so. Sometimes I feel like I'm alone in this world without any support. Support me. Oh, this whole tripod just broke. Oh. The whole thing came apart. This is supposed to be nice. Did you see that, Alex? The whole freaking thing just came apart. This is the kind of crap that happens to me, guys, every day. I liked this tripod, and now it's broken. If you want to subscribe to our channel, please don't. This channel sucks. We have nothing to teach you. And other channels are much better. So subscribe to another channel.